That is right. Episode 16 of With All Due Respect. And wow, sporting week. The sporting world has erupted. Queensland, New South Wales teams have been finalised for Game 2 Suncorp. Blues looking to do the impossible. The NBA is nearly finito. Denver, Daniel, we talked a lot about it during the early stages of the series. You ruled out Denver immensely, saying that they weren't a champion, that they weren't a championship team.
This was before the playoffs started.
And wow, they have proved everyone wrong. As always, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, brought to you by the Village Sport Balmain, home of the Oracle. Speaking about the Oracle, one episode last week was Daniel. Great raps on it.
Really good, really good.
Great raps on the Oracle. And once again, the Oracle. If you want to meet him, he's in the Village Sport Balmain. Go buy some of the greatest sporting goods in the country. We'll move straight into it, Daniel. In the headline segment, let's talk New South Wales Blues. Let's talk Money Mitch. Our boy, the Lebanon seeder, perhaps the greatest Lebanon international of all time. He's in the squad. Initial thoughts in one word on Mitchell's selection.
Surprising.
I'm going to say confident. We'll go with New South Wales first. As I said, I'm confident in Mitch. I'm confident in the selection. The kicking game he will bring will be great. It won't be as good as Cleary's, but I think that the game plan has to be different. We can't just take 5 tackles and kick for Turbo, kick for Latrell, that higher body in the air.
Our kicking game in game 1 was horrific, so I don't think it's going to take much for it to be any better.
Yeah.
I would describe the New South Wales squad. If I was to describe the whole squad in one word, it would be predictable.
Really?
It would be predictable. These are the choices that were made are ones that we thought would happen, like Luai staying in the 6.
Yeah.
Hudson Young staying in the team.
Well, I did not think that was going to happen.
I don't think they should happen, but they were ones that would happen because Freddy, we know how he thinks. That's what I'm saying. Predictable.
Yeah.
I would have dropped Hudson and Luai, and potentially would have dropped Addo-Carr.
Really?
Well.
This is the fox on the wing.
I would have put maybe like a Stephen Crichton or something like that.
Interesting.
I don't know how we're going to win.
Well, like you said, Damien Cook's back in the team. Latrell Mitchell's back in the team. Robson to debut off the bench, meaning that we've finally matched the 1-2 punch of the Queensland Maroons. Harry Green and Ben Hunt, we needed to match those two hookers. And like everyone says, some players are just made for Origin. I think Reece Robson will kill it. I think he's got that body, he's quick, he's agile, and he's made for Origin. Tough player, and I think he'll do well.
But we did the same thing. I don't know about the 1-2 punch because we did it last year with Appy and Cook.
Different players. Appy and Cook both starters. I think Reece Robson is more of that bigger body, can come on in the middle and do a job defensively. I think Damien Cook off the bench is a completely different situation. Quicker, thinner. I mean, he's a beach sprinter, Daniel. We all know that, isn't that right?
That's correct.
Now,
it's frustrating.
Hudson Young returns. I'm not too sure why. Cam Murray on the bench again. Look, if they play Hudson Young for 30 minutes again as a starter and for the first 30 minutes and never to return, I think that's another waste of an interchange.
Exactly.
Liam Martin should be starting as well, in my opinion. It was our best on ground in game 1, and he killed the Roosters on the weekend, and I don't know why he's not there. Your man, Steph, Daniel. Stefano Utokamano.
This is when we talked about our predicted teams. This is what I saw coming. I thought Freddy would pick him because he's massive. That's all we need. We need his size. And look, he's gonna defensively. I don't know about him defensively, but he's gonna get you some good meters up the middle. With his big, he's just a big body. That's what we need. That's what we lacked in game 1.
Speaking about big bodies, I thought Regan Campbell-Gillard was very lucky to miss out. Very unlucky to not get in the squad. He played a sensational game against, albeit a Canterbury Bankstown weak Bulldogs side, but he's been there before. He's done the job. I was surprised to not see him selected. Am I disappointed in it? Very, very disappointed. But then you go back to the Regan Campbell-Gillard, Nathan Cleary, Penrith Panthers saga. There's obviously some beef there that
definitely
that Freddie has said. You know what, Nathan? Jerome in this sense, because Nathan's no longer there in the series. Jerome, do you want him there? No, I don't. Okay, I'm going to leave him out. I'm going to bring in a debutant, Stefano, to take his position. Someone who hasn't been there and done it before. Queenslanders, Daniel, forced changes due to injuries. Coates comes in on the wing. I think Kafusi was the only real one that was like, hold on, maybe he should have been in the squad because he has been killing it.
Yeah. I think Coates was a definite considering the injury to Cobbo.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought Kafusi might slide in, but obviously they're confident with their squad, the squad they had in game one, so they're just going to keep it going with that.
And that's the thing, Daniel. All this speculation over New South Wales, who's going to be the halfback, who they're going to drop, and Queensland flying under the radar as per usual and just make the change just like that. No speculation, minimal controversy, and there you go. All right, do you want to move on? Do you have anything else on the Origin talk?
No.
No? Okay, moving on, Daniel. What's your next headline?
My next headline is Brooksy says bye-bye
Wow.
to the West Tigers.
Wowee.
Luke Brooks has rejected the Tigers bid and will find a new club for 2024.
And beyond.
I don't know who we're going to sign instead. There's literally no one on the open market.
Mitchell Pearce.
No one. Don't even start. So we're going to have to develop. And please, God, if we get a new, half from New South Wales Cup in and they start playing like in the form of like a Jareem Buller, oh my goodness.
You'd bloody hope so, didn't you? Because you have no name has been brought up to replace.
Exactly. We have, that's what we're going to talk about a bit later. But like this week, our halves will probably be Wakeham and Laurie,
which is appalling.
Well, Laurie,
he's not
he's not a half, but he could come out and kill it. You never know. Anyway, I want a Buller-like debut. I know we've got this. I don't know his name. We've got this young kid, but I think he's only like 18 in the top 30. But I don't think they're going to play him. Our halves till Brooks comes back will be Laurie and Wakeham, I think. But yeah, Brooksy, I don't know where he's going to go. I've heard murmurs that, people are saying the Chooks, people are saying the Cowboys, and people are saying the Raiders. I can see Canberra.
Yeah.
I can see Canberra.
Ricky will be there.
What frustrates me is it hasn't even happened yet, but I just know wherever he goes, he's going to play the best season of his life.
Daniel, if I'm you, I think the city, the town, the area of Balmain can now celebrate, can now relax. It's a sign of relief. The Band-Aid has been ripped off. And I'm talking about when you got hairy arms and you're ripping off that type of Band-Aid and it fucking hurts, but it's off. Brooksy is gone. A fresh start will begin for the Tigers. I think you can applaud and respect his efforts because he hasn't had much help over his career during this time of the Tigers. Letting go Adokar, the likes of Pappenhausen, Tedesco, all gone. He's been playing with youngsters his whole career. This might be the only year he's actually had some type of support in bringing in reinforcements such as Coruscant, Papali'i. But if I'm the Tigers, I'm relieved. I'm happy. I'm ready to move on. I am ready to move on.
It's just I'm concerned as what we're going to move on into.
Yeah.
Because there's literally no one. Literally.
You'll find someone, Daniel, I'm sure. I'm very sure. Anyway, moving on. I've got the surprise. Let's talk about the surprising results of the weekend. And firstly, I would like to target the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Now, when the Saints go marching in, oh my God, that might want to be one of my new favourite songs. That might be one of my new favourite songs. What do you think of the song?
What do I think of the song?
Yeah.
I enjoyed how it was played, even though I tipped the bunnies. But the end was pretty shocking.
That's what I've got written down here. The late fight back from South was too much. Not enough. But the scary thing is South Sydney scoring 3 tries in 3 minutes. They're proving that in any game they're not over and done.
They're not done
till the final whistle. Now that's a scary thing, but they still lost to the Dragons. Ryan Carr, the Dragons interim coach, has to be involved with the club in the future years, no matter who the coach is. I think the Mick Potter situation is very similar.
That's what I was just about to say.
Mick Potter did really well at the Bulldogs once they sacked Trent Barrett. He is now involved in the coaching staff in some way. I think if you're a Dragons fan, you want Carr involved in the team in some way. Anyway, the Saints continue to march on against the South. Roosters, Daniel, they stink. Your take? Would you like to take us through what you said last week about the Roosters?
I did think there was a chance they'd beat Penrith. And I think that they probably should have. On paper, they probably should have won that game.
Yep.
The Roosters, coming into this season as premiership favourites, like you go on Sportsbet, they were $2. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous where they are right now. It's unbelievable.
Unprecedented is another word I'd like to use.
Like they've what was the score? 36.
30 points to 6.
And then they lost to them by about 40 earlier in the year as well.
The thing is with the Roosters game, they actually never looked like winning. The first 5 minutes, I thought they'd come out strong. They needed to start well. The first 5 minutes, they just didn't look like they were there. They were there, but they were there.
The biggest uproar from Roosters fans that I hear is that why does Drew Hutchison play?
Exactly. But the thing is, I think that the Manu experiment at 5'8" has to be over. I think especially the Roosters are a better team with Hutchison in the halves and Manu at centre. They just are a better squad, especially when you're playing Hutchinson against Stephen Crichton, who is in perhaps some career best form. And that matchup did not work, and you saw what happened in the game. It just didn't work. Hutchinson could not tackle him, could not contain Crichton. And I think the Roosters may be regretting re-signing Tedesco for that extra year. I think Manu, if they want to move Manu out of the centres, I think his position has to be fullback. It has to be fullback.
It's not. It's scary because you can't put your finger on what's going wrong.
No, well you can. You can't put your finger on it, but you can point towards it. And I'm pointing to them. I'm pointing to the coach's box. I'm pointing to the coach's box, Daniel.
They've got to blame someone. They've got to put the blame on someone. Yeah, I did think they would win. I think they probably should have, but going into the next round, they're $2.50 to beat the Newcastle Knights.
Exactly, and
which is ridiculous.
If you told me that the Knights in round 15 would be the favourites against the Roosters
at the start of the season,
oh my God. Anyways, Melbourne Storm, Daniel. Well, I know I'm overreacting, but I'm thinking premierships. I'm thinking premierships.
Mercy.
Putting 50, was it 54?
54.
54 on a Cronulla side desperate for a win. A Cronulla side with a halfback in Nico Hines desperate to put on a great performance to play for the Blues. And against the Cronulla side with Nico Hines, ex-Melbourne Storms superstar, coming back to prove a point against a former team. And we do this. The sad thing coming out of this is that Cronulla can no longer win the premiership.
Don't you have to lose by 50?
No, you have to score 50.
Scored
50. I believe there is a stat where a team lost 54 to 40 or something, and the stat still existed. Even though they only lost by 14 points, they still got scored 50 points on. Now, Nulla can no longer beat a top 8 team, it seems. Now, it's a scary thing.
But I'll tell you what the problem is at Cronulla. And talking to Cronulla fans, that everyone agrees. The problem's name is Matt Moylan. I said this a couple of weeks ago. The Sharks won't win a premiership with Matt Moylan in their halves.
Well, the thing is, it's a good point, but it's easy to say about a lot of teams. Like, Tigers would never win a premiership with Luke Brooks.
But the Tigers don't have a Dally M halfback of the year. Should be in the top 4.
Well, Luke Brooks, former Dally M halfback of the year.
That's a ridiculous point. No,
former Dally M halfback of the year.
They can't win with Moylan. I think Moylan, the amount of mistakes he makes is what loses the games. He drops a lot of ball. He drops a lot of ball for a half. And then, gives away 7 tackle sets, things like that. It was definitely one of his worst games when they played Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I think talking to Sharks fans, they agree. Moylan is not a premiership winner.
Well, here's one for you. Well, now that you've said premiership winner, I don't know if I can put this man in the same category. Would you trade Matt Moylan for Luke Brooks?
No.
You wouldn't trade Matt Moylan for
Why
Luke
would
Brooks?
you do? Why?
Why not?
Why would I want Matt Moylan? Luke Brooks is better than Matt Moylan.
All right. That's an interesting call.
That's ridiculous.
How's that ridiculous?
Why? So we get something out of instead of losing Brooks. Is that what you're saying?
Well, who else are you going to have in halfback?
Well, I'd rather develop a young player.
You wouldn't want Matt Moylan now?
No, I wouldn't want Matt Moylan now. Matt Moylan stinks.
And I think for the Sharks, who do you think would be better in the Sharks, Matt Moylan or Luke Brooks?
Luke Brooks.
Okay, moving on then. Have you got anything else for the headlines?
No, that's it.
All right, let's move on to
That's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to
What have
say
you
that.
got coming out the steamer so far, Daniel?
Mine is very sad this week.
All right.
And it's that the Tigers this year will get their second wooden spoon in a row.
In a row. Wow. After signing 2 superstars.
But it's not. It's not even that. The current state of our club, we're in the shit, and it's because of injuries. Our starting spine.
Sorry. Go.
What are you going to... Okay.
Injuries, okay.
Yeah. Our starting spine, our best spine would be Brooks, Dewey, Coruscant, Buller.
Yeah.
How many of those players are not injured?
3.
One of them's not injured.
Well, Brooks just got injured.
Yeah, I'm saying right now. Right now.
2.
1, 2? What are you saying?
Dewey and Coruscant's injured as well. Sorry.
Exactly.
I apologize.
It's like this week our starting halves are going to be, our spine is going to be Buller, Wakeham, Laurie, Simpkin.
So what about the previous 15 weeks?
Well, I don't think we were going to come last with our best squad. And remember, Dewey was injured on Easter Monday. Remember that.
Terrible day.
Yeah, 3/4 of our spine, of our best spine is gone. Brooksy, look, regarding the news coming out that he's not going to be re-signing, if I'm Tim Sheens, Luke Brooks has played his last game as a Tiger for me.
Ever.
Because why would you use Luke Brooks playing when he comes back?
Out of respect, Daniel.
But if we've got a young guy coming through, let him play. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't see how we're going to successfully function with Jake Simpkin at the starting 9 position.
I rate Simpkin. I rate him as a
Not
player.
for 80 minutes, I don't. And Dane Laurie at the 6. It's the biggest thing that concerns me is we're going to have a terrible kicking game. I don't think Dane Laurie can kick.
You won't have any kicking game.
Wakeham can only put up some questionable bombs 20 metres out from the line. It's frustrating because we were so slow to get our combinations going within our spine.
Yeah.
And
the injuries
the
haven't helped.
Cowboys game is probably where they were at their best. Even the Raiders game, I was pretty happy with the combinations. And now we're just going to have to... We're back at square one. Because Dane Laurie in the halves is going to take... How long is it going to take him for him to get comfortable? 10 rounds? Then you've got 2 rounds left at the end of the season. Wouldn't surprise me if we don't win another game.
Back-to-back wooden spoons. Has it ever happened before?
Yes, surely it's happened. Anyway.
Has it happened before when you've brought in a premiership winner?
Yeah,
two grand finalists.
You're not saying... You can't say that. You're saying that, but they're not playing, mate.
They were playing. They were playing.
We weren't going to get the spoon with them. We would not have got the spoon with...
So going 0-7 with them isn't getting the spoon.
We would not have finished with the spoon.
0-7.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have finished with the spoon. You lose games, but we wouldn't have finished with the spoon.
So who would you have been better than, though?
St. George.
Who just beat the best in South Sydney Rabbitohs?
Oh, my God, yeah. South Sydney Rabbitohs without Latrell, without Walker, without Murray. Come on. That's ridiculous.
And the Roosters? Have you beaten the Roosters?
We haven't played the Roosters, mate.
Could you beat the Roosters?
I reckon we could. I reckon if with a full-strength team, we could beat the Roosters.
You came to me and said, look, we have to go 8-5 to make the top 8. And then you said to me, the Canberra game and the Titans game on the weekend.
Canberra game was a robbery.
We're locks.
And the Titans,
as wins.
Our captain breaks his jaw. Our captain breaks his jaw.
It's about resilience.
Oh,
be resilient.
Far out. Our captain breaks his jaw, and our halfback
he didn't break his jaw.
His hamstring.
He didn't break his jaw. Tino broke his jaw. Tino broke your captain's jaw.
You're acting like we've got an all-stars team. Jake Simpkin is going to have to play 80 minutes for us. I rate Jake Simpkin as a footballer, but 80 minutes in the number 9 jersey. First receiver's going to be Dane fucking Laurie. We're in a terrible position. We will come last.
It's terrible and it's scary, and I'd be worried, Daniel.
We will come last, but it's not. It is bad. 3/4 of our best spine is gone, and that's why we will come last.
Daniel, I've got coming out the statement that the New South Wales Blues will win game 2.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm very confident. It's very biased because we are New South Welshmen, obviously, but I believe. I definitely believe. Moses at 7. I don't know why. I didn't think I'd feel this feeling, but I feel very comfortable. I feel very comfortable with Moses at 7. I believe in our Lebanese brother. Perhaps the greatest setter of all time, like I mentioned before. But game 1, we were very clunky in attack. And this change may make us even more clunky, may make us the best attacking New South Wales team ever. To the changes to the spine, that is.
Yeah. What the biggest worry for me is that when Moses plays for Para, he does the same kick every time.
Same kick. I mean,
that doesn't work
time.
in Origin. That's not going to work. That's going to give Reece Walsh a field day.
Well, the thing is, it didn't work in game 1. We did the same kick, same tactic after every set. But the game 1, we did that in game 1, and we're still up 2 with 10 minutes to go. Now, I think the Blues can take that with some confidence into Suncorp, and history is meant to be written. History is the impossible is meant to. What's in impossible? What's in impossible, Daniel? I'm possible. We have to believe. I think we can do it. Game 1, like I said, we were clunky, but we had no spark in attack. Now the spark is back. Latrell Mitchell, ladies and gentlemen, is in the squad. He is our spark. Can he deal with the pressure, though? It's a big game, Daniel. You know what Latrell does in big games.
He can deal with the pressure. Stop.
I hope he can, Daniel. We will soon find out, but I'm very confident in this team. What did you think about
Yeah, I'd love to see them win Game 2, because if we win Game 2, we can definitely win Game 3 at home. Yeah. I think if we win Game 2, we'll go into Game 3 as the favourite.
We should, but the thing is, last year, Game 1, we lost in ANZ as well, so you never know. You never know.
I think, Moses is either going to be, a 10 out of 10 or a 1 out of 10. I don't think he's going to be an in-between.
No, well, that's what we need, a 10 out of 10, basically.
Exactly. I'm interested to see, how Luai's going to go without Nathan.
Well, I mean, we saw how I think Buzz was saying he no longer needs to rely on Nathan, because what he did on the weekend against the Roosters without Nathan was impressive.
Yeah, but he's very got the whole Penrith squad with him.
Well, he's got basically that in the New South Wales camp. We all know Freddy loves his combinations.
It's just we need to play a Blues brand of footy. We don't need to play a Penrith brand of footy or a Penrith mixed with Parramatta brand of footy. If that happens, we'll lose by 50.
Just Blues, Freddy. Just Blues football, Freddy, please. Anyway, that's what I've got this week for That's Not Ridiculous. New South Wales to win Game 2 in Suncorp. Impossible. I'm possible. All right, let's move on to the JDS3, where this week, Daniel, what are you taking us through?
In the light of Brooksy leaving, I'm taking us through the best players the West Tigers have had and let go and have become very successful elsewhere.
That's right, Brooksy is out, and in the light of that, I'm going through the top 3 best players the West Tigers have let go and have immensely succeeded elsewhere. Number 3, Josh Adokar. I don't know if many people know this. Josh Adokar played 1 game for the Tigers, debuting against the Melbourne Storms. After that game, the Melbourne Storms signed him. After 1 game. He played the rest of the season for us, but he was already gone after 1 game where he scored in his debut. Since he has moved to the Dogs, where he's again succeeded immensely, played Origin after his Tigers stint, played for Australia, one that got away from us. But there's 2 more above him. At number 2, Mitchell Moses. Now, I don't want to hear people saying that we let a star go in Mitchell Moses. Now he's good. When Mitchell Moses was on the Tigers, he was shit. He was nothing near the player he was. Luke Brooks was immensely better than him. He had a mid-season switch to Parramatta, which did sting because it fucked up our whole season. We didn't make finals, and look, that was probably our year to be in that top 8 and make our mark as a club. He wasn't the best. He was nothing near where he is. I don't want to hear it. However, number 1, James Tedesco, the New South Wales Blues captain. Do you remember how many times this bloke got injured when he was on the Tigers? Fractured patella in 2014. 2016 does his shoulder, comes back, breaks his jaw the next game. King hit by an Italian teammate at the World Cup in 2013. Look, he backflipped on his Canberra deal when he actually signed for Canberra, backflipped on them for the Tigers. That made every Tigers fan think that he was going to be a one-club man and he was going to stay with us forever. However, Uncle Nick in Bondi pulls out the sombrero for Teddy, signs him for 2018, and Teddy was a Rooster, has been a Rooster ever since, has won 2 premierships, has won Origin Series, has won World Cups, where we're stuck with Jareen Buller.
I wonder where the Tigers would be, Daniel, if you would have kept those players. Surely talking premierships. Anyway, that's it for With All Due Respect, episode 16. Origin is out. Hopefully the camp goes well for the Blues. Miami looking to potentially stay alive in the series.
The series may be well over by
It may be over by now. We may see a new NBA champion in the Denver Nuggets. But that's it from us. Enjoy the week of sport, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you have a great week. That's all from us. Let's trot.